We're back. Please be back. Please say we're back. Oh, I think we're back. Right. Why isn't it loading? Nothing is loading. There we go. Right, we're in. Quickly, keep watching the race. Ah. Oh my god. Ah, why is this happening to me? Oh, I have no idea. I'm not going to use any replay functions throughout the entirety of this race from now on. I have no idea what just happened there. Right, let's quickly turn on the keyboard, turn on the race information. Right, all is good. Everything is fine. Everyone stay calm. Everyone stay calm. Oh, that was such a mess. Right, what have we missed? We've got Apex Predator in first, still holding off Bellin. Wizard seems to have come into the pits as he is in sync right now. However, he is behind ERT Alegno, who came into the pits earlier. Hoobie still hasn't come into the pits and is in third position. We've got Wizard in fifth, Fabuki in sixth, Vitmichi in seventh. So Seam is as though Vitmichi may have made a mistake at some point. I'm not 100% sure anymore. Hansa in eighth, Lookman in ninth, and Nike Donna in 10th. Seems Nike Donna also with a mistake earlier. Bellin doesn't have the fastest lap. It just says that because I've been out of the lobby for quite some time now. I am done talking. Let's just watch the race for a second. I unplugged my... I keep unplugging my microphone out of excitement. It's caught on my wheel. I need to unplug it. Oh god. Oh, why are there so many technologies today? Oh, my Gran Turismo, fix your game. Fix the replays, please. Nothing happened. Can't hear you. What about now? Right? Can you hear me? I'm not working. Okay. Hello? Hello. Right, we're back with the backup microphone. I think you can hear me now, right? Backup microphone has worked. Please say it's worked. This is my old microphone. Yes! Okay, it works. Right, perfect. We have Bellin now leading the way after Apex Predator comes into the pits. I'm so glad I still had this backup microphone, but oh, what a shame. Why isn't this mic working? Oh, I'm gonna have to fix that. The voice, the quality on this microphone is so much worse than the other one. But still, Bellin now leads the way and is actually setting a purple sector. It doesn't matter whatsoever. I've just realised all of the fastest laps are gone because I left the lobby because the replay function crashed my game because Gran Turismo is such a great game, isn't it? Everyone loves Gran Turismo. Best stream ever. Agreed, Alan. Breathe, you're doing good. Thank you, dog. Right, let's go into what's his name? The nature documentary guy, with the animals. What's his name? Someone tell me his name. Who's the nature guy? Presenter. What is his name? David Attenborough! That's the one! Oh, I can't believe I forgot that. Right, yeah, let's just go into David Attenborough mode. So, what we are watching right now is the Honda in its natural habitat, a tight and twisty track. Autopolis in Japan. The Gr.2 car roams wildly free as it goes towards the first corner, lapping the car of Lookman Alley in Nissan. As you can see, the car slightly more floaty than other Gr.2 cars. You see it prance around the corners, and Bellin doing a fantastic job of keeping this car aimed and under control.
Bellin currently with a 9.2-second gap to ERT Hooby behind. Doing a fantastic job of holding at first position right now. He'll be hoping to get ahead of Apex Predator, who would pit earlier than him, trying to get that undercut. However, if Bellin can keep a solid pace on these tyres, he could in fact be going for an alternate strategy, which may see him pit one less time than the others around him. Why isn't the laps appearing? I swear we should be seeing laps here. Right, okay. Here we sit on the edge of Autopolis, and a low-flying bird just pooped on Hoopy's window. Hope his wipers work. Thank you for that input, TJ. Right, we'll look back quickly to see ERT like 3 seconds ahead of Apex Predator. Apex Predator on much fresher rubber, and having pitted much later, he could be on a slightly different strategy, as I'm quickly going to try to turn laps on. So why isn't the laps on? If we go, press H, press that. No, none of this seems to be working. We'll quickly exit. Hopefully nothing goes wrong here. Nope, the laps still not appearing. So essentially we are going to have no idea how many laps are left. Because, yeah, Gran Turismo. It's because you rejoined. Oh, that makes sense. Well, that's annoying. They should. You know, we're not going to complain. We're just going to watch some exciting racing. See what happens as these guys go through the track. We're currently Wizard. Sitting in 5th... Wait, Wizard? When did I switch to Wizard? Oh no, he's just the host of the lobby, which means as soon as I start spectating, I spectate Wizard. But in fact, Wizard, who was leading this race earlier on, directly behind Vitmin G right now, only a few temps separating the two of them, and Wizard really pressurising Vitmin G. We saw earlier on in the race he had some excellent pace in the Lexus. And we'll have to see if he is able to... overtake Vitmin G at any point soon. He clearly has the pace to overtake him, however finding a spot to do so can be very difficult around this track. But looking back quickly, we do see ERT, Hooby and Fubuki going side by side here. Will Hooby try to look all the way around the outside? He does try it, and in fact makes it work all the way around the outside there of Fubuki. I'm glad we caught that on camera, as Hooby did an excellent job on that fresher rubber of swooping all the way around the outside, and now he can really hunt down Wizard ahead of him. As in fact, that is a good idea there, TJ. Try to use the time scale to see how many laps left. Nope, I've lost all capability to do maths, as Vitmin G decides to opt to go into the pits. And Bellin's still not having come into the pits yet. Lookman Ali really holding on to the back of him. Even though Lookman a lap down to Bellin right now. As Bellin on much older tyres. And his pace is going to be dying off. However, we saw last race he did go for an alternate strategy in that one stop. Similarly to Lookman and Wizard. And made it work out. He did in fact win that race. Albeit only by 2 tenths and a very close finish there. However, we could see a similar thing here if Bellin can make the fuel last and make the tyres last towards the end of the race. As thankfully people are rejoining the stream now. I'm very sorry that the stream had ended like that so suddenly. However, there was literally nothing I could have done. The PS4 just crashed on me. I tried to make sure that the game did not poop itself. However, it did, essentially. But Lookman still right on the back of Bellin, who's still not coming into the pits yet. He has been 23 minutes without going into the pits. So, as Bellin getting hit up the back from Lookman, the lapped car coming into contact there. Not good from Lookman there. He needs to make sure that if he's going for any sort of overtaking manoeuvre, it has to be clear cut, as lapped cars cannot interfere with the race of the leaders. And Lookman needs to look for a slightly better spot to overtake. He clearly has a little bit more pace on those fresher tyres. However, you cannot make contact with the leaders like that, as I'm sure he knows. Ocon and Verstappen on GT Sport, you're right there, TJ Deacon. Although I'm not quite so sure that Lookman and Ocon have much, comparable between the two of them. As Bellin really getting a slide on through these corners now. He's got 24 minutes without going into the pits here, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner. So clearly, trying something different here. Could be trying a one-stop, but it seems the others trying that two-stopper. As Alegna has already come into the pits again, so clearly something up here. As Alegna now may be realising he's on the wrong strategy, and Bellin could look to basically only make one last pit stop and make those tyres last all the way to the end and try to take the win on an alternate strategy yet again. As he does in fact dive into the pits now, making that pit entry work for him. He was on the hard compounded tyres, so he needs to go onto the mediums at some point. Guessing he will do that now and try to make that one stop work. As we look at Apex Predator coming across the start-finish line, will claim first position right now. As Apex Predator moving up into first. Wizard may in fact move up into second. It's going to be close, however, Hooby also right on the rear of Wizard. We could be looking at a nice little fight here as well. As Hooby clearly on the medium tyres now, the softer compounded tyre. Wizard leaving the door open. A little bit of contact there as Wizard didn't mean to leave the door open clearly. However, Hooby moving up into that third position as Wizard unable to defend, as unfortunately we do have Nike Donna parked up somewhere. He is parked up just out of view of us. However, just watching Wizard, I will not touch the replay camera, so thankfully we will not be interrupted again on stream. But Wizard clearly on the harder compounded tyres now, with Hooby on the softer compound. So Wizard not got the pace advantage he had earlier on, which meant he was able to not only overtake Hooby, but stretch out his gap. And now Hooby, with that gap to Wizard himself, having just overtaken him, already bridging the gap to 1.2 seconds. As essentially, yes, I am commentators cursing absolutely everyone in this race. I watched Alegna for literally 2 seconds, and the man had a bit of an accident. Why does this keep happening to me? My life is a wreck. But Wizard clearly dropping off the back now. 2 seconds to Hooby ahead of him. Really unfortunate the Wizard wasn't able to hold on to the position. He wasn't quite able to make a big enough of a gap that he was able to hold on to third place later on in this race. But currently, we'll look at ERT Bellin. So Bellin, the man in second right now. However, Apex Predator still needing to come into the pits, I believe, at some point in this race. He has currently got the fastest lap of the race with a 1:36.6. However, Bellin on completely fresh tyres will be looking not only to take that from him, but catch up to him in general. We'll cut to bonnet camera and see what Bellin is able to do as we follow him through this lap of Autopolis, the man who has been absolutely amazing around this track so far. Currently going purple by 7/10 of a second, so clearly doing something right here. Currently on the medium compounded tyres, the softer compound of the two, and doing a fantastic job around this track. He claims that sprint victory win, and he may be looking to try and claim this victory in the feature race as well. As Bystand, very nice to see you. Thankfully, thank you for coming to watch both of the 2 streams that was supposed to be one. But yeah, thank you very much for coming to watch, mate. Good to see you, and have a good day at work. But as you can see, Bellin coming through the final few corners. He's clearly been going purple throughout the entirety of the lap. What's it going to be? It's a 35.9. The fastest lap time we have seen throughout the entirety of this race weekend. Been a fantastic lap there from Bellin, the fastest lap I've ever seen with tyre wear and fuel burn on. As you can see, this gap from Bellin to Apex Predator closing down lap after lap, corner after corner. Through that long left-hander alone, he clearly gains 2 tenths on Apex Predator, so the fresher rubber really coming into effect here. And Bellin having fueled up massively in the pits. Doesn't look as though he's going to need to come into the pits again at any point in this race, whereas Apex Predator will at some point need to pit again. He will be on fresher rubber later on. However, Bellin currently looking absolutely untouchable in this race. As you can see, he's coming through the final corner. Will Bellin be able to go faster than his previous fastest lap? In the 35s right now, down to the 36s, so not quite able to replicate it as the tyre wear kicked in. We've reached the 30 minutes mark of this race, so I believe we have about 12 minutes left, so probably this is so difficult. Right, let me pull out my calculator. 1 minute, as Stans, or TJ has said here, 1 minute 37 is the average lap. So that is around 1.6 times by 29 equals a 46.4 minute race. Okay, so we do in fact have about 15 minutes left of racing still, maybe a little bit less. Something around that. So we definitely still have quite a bit of time to go on this race. As I did say before, this race slightly longer than the other feature races, as it is the final race of the season. Only longer by about 5 minutes, however it does make quite a bit of a difference. As Apex Predator not the man spinning out, thankfully. We did see someone spinning out, we'll check who that may have been, as I can't find him whatsoever. We'll just move back to Bellin. Ta-da! TJ, if you were typing 1.37 on a calculator, that is wrong, because there are 60 seconds in a minute, not 100, which means it's 46 minutes, not 40. Maths. But yeah, watching Bellin, who has in fact emerged in first position now, as Apex Predator will look back, currently in fourth after coming into the pits. His final pit stop for the race, as he is 19 seconds behind ERT Bellin. He's got a mountainous climb if he wants to gain that first position. However, he is ahead of ERT Electa right now. So doing a fantastic job there of keeping ahead of the Dutchman, who has been so consistent throughout this entire season. As yes, TJ, quick maths, or hippie quick maths on TJ, essentially. This is why I'm an accountant. But currently Apex Predator right on the rear of Wizard, getting a much better run through that tight left-hander. And easily able to look down the inside. There's nothing Wizard can do to defend against this, with Wizard on not only much older tyres, but a harder compound. And is going to have to slot in behind Apex Predator, who's looking to catch up to Bellin. Has lost about 6 tenths behind Wizard, however, will be closing him down now that he is in fresh, clean air. Looking ahead here, we do see ERT Hooby currently holding that second position, doing a fantastic job here. We're not 100% sure if he needs to pit again. If he doesn't, he could become a bit of a nuisance here for Apex Predator, with Wizard opting to come into the pits now on lap 5, only with 2% of fuel left in his tank, so needing to come into the pits ASAP and refuel, change tyres, probably onto another set of the medium compound. And Hubie currently holding second. Will he need to pit again? We expect he will. However, he could surprise us here and try a one-stopper of his own. Currently, it looks like Bellin, the only one to really try the one-stop strategy. However, we could see Hubie opt for it if he can make the fuel last. He did come in considerably earlier than Bellin. However, anything is possible with this Dutch wonder kid. As you can really hear the birds tweeting away in excitement for this racing. Apex Predator really closing up to the rear of Hubie now. The gap has been closing rapidly throughout the entire race. And ERT Hubie clearly coming into the pit as he starts flashing his hazard lights, coming through that pit chicane complex. And with 7% of fuel really needed to come into the pits there, as I'm not sure he would have lasted another lap. Or at least not another 2. But Apex Predator now emerges in second position, 8 seconds ahead of Alegna, who hasn't been on the correct strategy on this race. And those birds are really distracting in my ear. Oh my god, I hear them and I just think, is it daytime? It's so irritating. But either way, Apex Predator oh my god, those birds won't shut up. Oh, Apex Predator holding an 8.7 second gap to Alegna. Fantastic job so far from Apex Predator, beating Alegna so far. However, anything could still happen in this race. I believe we've still got around 10 minutes left as Apex Predator laps the car of Hansa. And Bellin 17.2 seconds ahead. It's going to be a mountainous climb if he wants to claim his first race victory. However, with those fresh tyres and a good fighting spirit, anything is possible here. We'll look back for a second at Vitmin G, the man currently in 6th position. Has had a little bit of an uneventful race. Did qualify for the Super Pole, however, lost out to ERT Hubie in the end for the sprint race, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to compete with Hubie during this race either. We'll quickly look ahead again to see just where the 2 people fighting are not fighting at all. It's just Lookman getting lapped by Hubie. That makes more sense. I was thinking no one should be close on track right now. However, Hubie right on the rear of Lookman. Lookman's going to have to let him by at some point with those blue flags waving away. As you can see down the back straight, giving Hubie some slipstream. Should be getting out of the way within the next few corners. As Nike with a bit of a technical failure clearly, and Lookman running wide. So Hubie easily able to overtake the lapped car. As Hubie in fact purple in sector 1, a man clearly in his prime there. Absolutely amazing from Hubie. So in his prime that he is able to go purple in sector 1 on old tyres. Absolutely brilliant. This lad is something special here. Doc will know what I'm talking about. Purple in sector 1. He's going all the way. 44 seconds behind Bellin. Anything is possible here for ERT Hubie. Now that he has gone purple in sector 1, I believe we are looking at our eventual race winner and championship winner. It is physically impossible for him to win the championship at this point. However, anything is possible when you are Hubie. And I'm going to stop talking rubbish now. Looking ahead at Apex Predator, he has actually been really closing the gap to ERT Bellin. 2 seconds gained on that last lap. and has been pulling away from Alegna massively, gaining around 2 seconds on the last lap again to Alegna, so clearly making those tyres work for him right now. Of course, he is on fresher tyres in comparison to both Bellin and Alegna, and Bellin on a slightly different strategy. However, Apex Predator clearly with an opportunity to claim a second position here very easily, as Alegna not getting the strategy right, and overall just clearly hasn't had the pace in this race that Apex Predator has had. He obviously had that mistake earlier on, did Alegna, which we did catch on camera. Sorry, Alegna. And now 13 seconds behind Apex Predator. He's gonna struggle to gain anything more than third place. If we look back, in fact, we do see a 14-second gap to Hubi, so Alegna really doesn't have to worry about Hubi gaining at any point in the next few laps. The only thing he really has to worry about is the lapped car ahead of him of Hansa. As Hansa moving off the racing line, allowing Alegna through. Very respectful there from Hansa. As Alegna back in that clear air. But currently, we'll have a little bit of a race rundown here, see who's in what position. We have ERT Bellin in first place, 13.8 seconds ahead of the person in second place. But on that one-stop strategy is going to be going slower. Apex Predator here in second position. On the fresher compounder tyres, he's pulling away from third place and he's closing up to first. So doing a very nice job. Maybe not the optimal strategy, but still been working to perfection here. Has been doing very well, has Apex Predator. Very well done to him so far. ERT Alegna, after an unfortunate mishap earlier on in the race, is down in third position and unfortunately hasn't been getting the strategy just right as Apex Predator has. ERT Hubi in fourth position right now, but closing on ERT Alegna every single lap. Not sure he's going to be quite close enough to go for anything, as the race going to be coming to an end very shortly. ERT Wizard in fifth place right now, 9 seconds adrift of Hubi. Vitmin G 15 seconds off of Wizard. Favuki 16 seconds off of Vitmin G, and then follows Hansa, Lukmanali, and unfortunately Nike with a technical failure, looking right for some reason, as you can see in his cockpit. But looking at our race leader, we have ERT Bellin. We'll watch a lap of Bellin and just see how bad those tyres really are. We'll see just how much he's drifting around these corners, having to brake a little bit extra as he goes into that first corner, really trail braking to make sure the car doesn't snap on him at any point. As you can see, braking much earlier than he normally would, and not in fact getting the optimal line through that corner, as he did miss that initial apex. However, still carrying good momentum around the corners, staying tight to the majority of the apexes, and even with those worn tyres, doing a fantastic job. You could in fact say he is killing it. Yes, Calster, doing a brilliant job. 11 seconds adrift of Apex Predator in second place. However, the car is getting increasingly difficult to control as the tyres wear away the entirety of this race. He has been on those tyres for around 20 minutes now, and they will be absolutely hell right now. They are medium compounded tyres, as he's had to use them, as he was on the hard compound earlier, and as we know in these feature races, you have to use both compounds of tyre at some point in the race. So Bellin currently on the mediums, and they have been going for quite a long time here. They're starting to get very on the edge, as you can see. The car slightly unpredictable. Bellin's doing well to predict what's going to happen with his car. However, you can see small little movements that can really affect his race. But doing a fantastic job of tyre management right now. However, Apex Predator in his Nissan doing a fantastic job himself, closing down Bellin ahead of him. And in fact, 17 seconds adrift now of Alegna So really cementing his second place. However, I believe we may be moving on to the final lap, as we are 44 minutes in, roughly. So either this or the next lap is the final lap. I have no idea, as I can't see the laps because I got kicked out of the lobby and Gran Turismo in general. However, we'll watch Bellin, as this may be the final lap. If it's not, we'll cut to someone else at some point, as no one is really that close on track right now. And we'll just watch as Bellin, rounding the final, possibly final lap. Yeah. The Honda definitely liking to turn their dock, you are right. Has been doing a fantastic job around Autopolis. As we know, Bellin in general very fast around this track. As we saw in the Gr.2 endurance race from Yomas's IGTL. Bellin really knowing how to handle a Honda around this track. We'll see if he drifts around this corner. If he doesn't, I'm predicting this isn't the final lap. If he doesn't start weaving around, no, he's not. So, one more lap. This is the final lap. I'm certain of it. This is it. Right, 8 seconds separate Apex Predator and Bellin. It doesn't look as though Apex Predator gonna be able to challenge onto what now is the final lap. However, anything can happen. Autopolis, such a slippery track. It feels like oil is just spread around the entire track. It feels like I'm just cooking everywhere with so much grease just spread around every single corner. However, Bellin just controlling his car throughout the entirety of these slippery turns, doing a fantastic job here in first position. Wait, surely it would come up final lap above the time, would it? Oh my god, I don't know. Ah, is it the final lap? Hi Stevie. We don't know if it's the final lap or not. Wait, I have an idea. No, that's not going to work. I tune in and you're talking about being covered in grease. Sorry, Stevie. It happens at times. I'm talking about the track, though, not myself. I'm not covered in grease. Yeah. Except the musical. I love that musical. Anyway, this is the final lap, maybe. Oh, God. Axel may be right. There should be a final lap thing. See if Bellin drifts around the corner. He's not drifting around the corner. This isn't the final lap. Right, we move across the line again. For what is that? There it is! There is the final lap sign. Axel was correct. We now have the final lap. It said final lap on there. We're going to have to see who emerges victorious. 6.2 seconds separating the two of them now on the final lap. This is the final lap. I'm certain it said the final lap. This has to be the final lap. Apex Predator 6.1 seconds behind. No one seems to be that close on track for any sort of overtaking opportunities that matter for position. So we watch Bellin as he rounds the final lap, the third final lap. There have been so many final laps. 5.9 seconds separating the two of them. Nothing really happening right now. However, Bellin, well, he's been in control the entirety of this race. He's been on that alternate strategy, and it definitely seems to have been working out for him. We saw last week he was on that alternate strategy around Catalonia, and he made that work to perfection, and it seems as though he's doing that yet again. Fantastic job from Bellin. As you can see in the background, Apex Predator, 5 seconds adrift. As yes, it is the final lap. If anyone says any differently, I will end the stream right now. No one will know who's won. But anyway, 5 seconds now. Bellin coming through the final sector for the final time of any round for this league. Bellin rounding the penultimate 2 corners. He's gonna get that drift on. Is he getting the drift on? There we go, there's the drifting. Yes, we know it's the final race. Yes, yes, Bellin has won the race. Apex Predator comes home 3.7 seconds behind for a brilliant second position. Well done to Apex Predator. Alegna's going to be coming home 8 seconds ahead of Hubi. for third place, rounding out that podium. And not only was that the final lap of the race, it was, as TJ Deaconer said, the final lap of the season. Season 1 has now ended, and I can confirm that the man on your screen is the Season 1 champion. Unfortunately, Bellin, after missing one of the rounds, wasn't quite able to challenge for the overall championship, as we may be introducing dropped rounds in the upcoming seasons. However, the man on your screen, there we go, ERT Alegna, after so many dominant wins early on, claiming the championship. However, massive round of applause to Bellin as well, after a massive fight back towards the end, winning both races at Catalonia and at Autopolis. He's done a fantastic job late on, after what was a little bit of a dry season for him, at the beginning of the season. Not able to gain any wins, but towards the end, doing absolutely brilliant with ultimate strategies, just overall pace in general, claiming that first position very often. Yes, well done to all the racers. I can't view the end bit because I got kicked out at some point. However, Bellin was your race victor. We can look at the race results and see Bellin in first place, 3.7 seconds ahead of Apex Predator in second, putting up an excellent fight there, Apex Predator. Very unfortunate that you weren't able to get a win, but you can take so many positives from this season that late on you were doing brilliantly in challenging the top two of Bellin and Alegna. In fact, beating Alegna in this race. Very well done to you. Alegna in third, not what he would have wanted. However, rounding out the championship and claiming that first position. ERT Hubi comes home in fourth place. A little bit adrift of Alegna, 8 seconds, with Wizard in fifth, Fabuki in sixth, Vitminji in seventh, Hansa in eighth, Lukman in ninth, and Nike in 10th. And I do have to say thank you to everyone for coming to watch. Well done to Bellin for winning both races of this round. Well done to Alegna for winning the championship. And well done to Honda for claiming the Constructors' Championship. Overall, Honda have won out of the 3 constructors. So well done to Honda. I think they've won. It's either Honda or Nissan. I'm pretty sure it's Honda. Honda have won. But yeah, we've got a lot of interest for next season, so it's definitely looking like next season will be even better than this season, as we've had some amazing fights up and down the field, some amazing action, some heartbreak, some drama, but overall it's been such an amazing event to commentate on, and yeah, it's been so much fun commentating on these races, guys. And I have to thank all of you for coming to watch. It's been amazing to see how much support you have been giving, not only myself, but the season in general. And I can't wait to get Season 2 underway. We've got big things coming up, and yeah, it's going to be bigger, better. And I can't wait to see it all unfold. But thank you all for coming to watch. I've been ERT Thunderstorm. This is the end of Season 1, and we'll see you at the beginning of Season 2. Thank you for coming to watch.